Hi everyone, it's Ashley. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. So if you couldn't tell, we are going to be making a card today. I actually need to make a card for my mother-in-law. It is her birthday, so I came to make her a card. What I did was I cut out all of my pieces that I needed on my Cricut, and I designed my card in Cricut Design Space. You can easily go in Cricut, find a card, cut it out. They even make like little card packs, which I have one right here actually. And they sell these, like this is for the Joy, but they have them where they just come with like the card base, the insert, and the envelopes. So they make it really easy, and you could literally go into Cricut Design Space, find a design, have it cut in a matter of minutes. I personally like to kind of design my cards a little more. I absolutely love card making. I love the process and the design of it, but I don't make them enough to like invest in a lot of, the card making tools. So I don't really have those things. So I just design it in Cricut Design Space. I cut my pieces out on the Cricut machine that I have, which is I have an Explore Air 2 and I also have a Cricut Joy. So you could cut these on either machine, and then I just kind of piece it together. One great hack that I have is this, just a standard A2 size card. It is just in this really, really soft pale pink, and it has a matching envelope here in the same color. So like I said, that's just a pale pink. We'll be using that today. But I wanted to show you, this is the pack of cards that I got from Hobby Lobby. I actually found this on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and I believe I paid like less than $7 for this whole thing. And it has the card and envelope, a standard A2 size, and it has like this really pretty kind of mint green, a really pale pink, which we're using today, more of a forest green, a darker pink, a darker green, more of a marigold, a coral, and a navy. And like I said, that's the card and the envelope. I make everybody's cards for like their birthdays and anniversaries. I made our Christmas cards, and this is how many I still have. So for under $7, I absolutely love this buy. I also got like some craft paper ones with envelopes. So always keep your eyes open in craft stores for these blank envelopes and cards. They're great for card making in a hurry. If you don't have those, it's no problem. This is just a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock that I cut down the middle at 4.25. This will be folded down. It will make a A2 size top folding card. So this is what I will use if I don't want to use one of the colors that I have, or just want a white background. I will use one of these and then either make an envelope or use one of the pre-folded envelopes. And then I would just bring in my score buddy and score it from there. For today, we will be using this pale pink because it will go with my card, and I'm in a little bit of a hurry, so this will make quick work of this today. And then I just have some papers here from a couple different card packs, and I just pulled some patterns that I liked. And then, like I said, I just changed the paper size on my Cricut and then cut these out. These were 6 by 6. And then I cut all of my kind of supporting pieces that I will glue together to make my card a little more substantial. I cut all of these out on a piece of 8.5 by 11 white cardstock. So with all of that said, let's dive right into it, and we will kind of see this card come to life. So I like to start by gluing my mat down first. So I just cut this first piece here, this first pattern. I cut this at 4 wide by 5.25 long. And that is going to give us a 1/4 of an inch around the border of our card, so that I can still see that really, really pretty pale pink card coming through. And then this will just give us a nice first mat. So I'm just going to turn this over, bringing in some art glitter Dries Clear Adhesive. This is a great glue for card making, just a great glue for paper crafts in general. So I'm just going to put some glue on the back of our first pattern here. This will be our mat for the card. Just quickly giving that some glue. All right, and then I will turn this over. Bringing in our card base, I will lay this down, and then I'm gonna try to get this as centered as I can. And this adhesive's nice because it gives you just a little bit of time to work with it before it dries. So it's really nice because it gives you just a little bit of wiggle room. So from what I can tell by looking over the camera here, it looks like that is pretty centered. So I'm happy with that. And that is our first layer. That looks great. So now for my design, what I decided to do was cut out 3 of these scalloped rectangles in just this really pretty pattern paper. And then that's gonna go just like that. But I wanted to kind of raise these up. And since I only had a 6x6 piece of this cardstock, and I wouldn't want to use like such a pretty pattern for that anyways, I cut out 3 additional rectangles for each of my patterned rectangles, right? Okay, so grabbing our first set of 3 here, I am going to just pull these apart and I will simply glue them together. And these are going to just be supporting our second pattern, but it's going to give our card such a nice finished look to it. It's going to be so pretty. And it really gives it a lot of nice height. So just taking our time, gluing these together. And we are going to just kind of get those scalloped edges as lined up as we can. That looks great. And then I will take one of my top pattern pieces here. And then I will glue that on top of now what is 3 layers of 80-pound cardstock. So that gives it a really nice thick look. It almost looks like chipboard. And I'm just gonna really push that down, try to get it nice and flat. And then off camera here, I just have one of the 6x6 paper packs that this came out of. I will set this under so I can get it nice and flat while we do the other ones. And then our last patterned layer. So there is our second layer. It looks great. I'm going to put this under the paper pack and we'll move on to our next layer. Now I have my 3 scalloped pieces all done. And when I'm making a card, I like to kind of build it as I make it, because that way I like to see like, okay, do I want more dimension? Do I not? So for me, like once I make a section, I like to glue it down to my card and kind of see where I want to go next. So I honestly, I'm gonna wing it. You absolutely could use a ruler and get this super perfect. For me, I'm just gonna kind of line this up as best as I can, and I'm going to glue it down. I'll just bring in some tweezers here to kind of help me place these. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the bottom one next, because from there, then I can kind of place the center one, just seeing how much of a margin I have at the top, and then trying to mimic that margin at the bottom. All right, I think that looks just about right. So we will just place our center piece last. And absolutely feel free to go about this any way you like. Whatever makes you feel the most confident is absolutely the way to go, because that is when you will put out your best work, right? So absolutely, however you feel the most confident, go that way in full speed. So that looks great to me. Next, because I am who I am, I cut out these 3 little cutie pies, and they are going to go right in the center of my pattern that I just laid down. I'm just gonna lay these straight down onto my flowers here. And then again, just trying to get that straight. Looks pretty good. Head on to the next one. Last but not least, all right, that looks pretty good. So far, so good. I'm loving it. Now, the last part of the front of this card here is going to be, I cut 1 extra layer, and I cut out and had my Cricut write happy, happy, happy on these little rectangles in just some 80-pound white cardstock. These are just 2 of the same size, and I just did this to make it a little more sturdy and just give it a little height. So now on this one, just being careful, because we did have that Cricut write happy on the front. I don't want to accidentally get glue on it and smudge it. This is the only time that I would be just a little careful. Those look great. So my idea was then to put these in the center here. And then on the inside, I was going to obviously write birthday and then write our message and give it to her that way. Now, looking at it and feeling it and kind of seeing it from the sides, I actually think that I am going to use some foam tape. So bringing in some foam tape of the back of my little happy here. Great. Just kind of eyeballing it. If it's a little short, no problem. If it's a little long, just trim it up. And because this one's just the tiniest bit long, I'm gonna trim just the end of that off. And then because this one I got a little short, I'll just put it right on the end of this one. So perfect. Cricut weeding tool. This is great to get the backing off of the foam tape. So just using that to kind of pull the backing up, pull it away, bring in my card back in. I'll bring my tweezers. And once again, just trying to get it as centered as I can. I'm trying to look over the camera, so it's a little hard for me to see the top, but let's see if turning it this way might help me. And then hopefully you guys can still see, but I'm trying to get the equal distance between the top and bottom. All right. And then just pressing that down. Looks pretty good. So now I will just grab my second one. Make sure it's right side up, because that would be just like me to put it upside down. Once again, just trying to get equal spacing on top, bottom, left and right as best as I can. So that looks pretty good. And then my last one. I think it came out so cute. We have such dimension with those 3 layers of the cardstock in the back, and then the addition of the foam tape was absolutely the right call. So happy with the way it came out, and that's why I like to build my cards from the bottom up and kind of see where it's going. I will now have my Cricut write birthday in the middle, or I will hand draw it. I'm not sure yet. I wanted to get the main card done, and then from there, I always just kind of do something simple inside, because I like to write a lot in my cards and I need a lot of space for that. The front is where I really put a lot of my effort and time. From this piece of cardstock that I used for the back, I do have this strip here from where the Cricut cut out my mat. So I was thinking that I will probably just cut this straight out. Actually, I'll just show you since we're here and I have the time. So I was thinking I would just cut this out just like this. This is just the same pattern that I used on the mat. So I was thinking that I would just take this, put it right kind of in the inside here edge. So I'm just gonna kind of glue, I'm gonna put my glue on the inside here and just kind of do right at the top to the bottom. And then seeing what side is going to be my edge here, I will just lay some down kind of start to finish on this side. I'm going to just lay this down. And then I'm just gonna leave some overhang on the top and bottom. I'll just kind of give that a moment to settle. You wanna make sure you don't get it in the crease itself, because I still wanna be able to obviously open and close my card, but that looks great. Then just turning the card over, I will simply just trim off that overhang from both the top and bottom. And there we go. So here is my little card all finished. Like I said, I will write birthday inside. I always write a lot in my cards, so I will write birthday, and you know, I will make it nice and put some glitter and whatnot, and we will all sign it. And then I usually will use this side here to write my personal message. I also have the matching envelope. This is where the Cricut cut out from this pattern paper, and I just have this left over. So what I was thinking is I'll just quickly fussy cut around one of these little magnolia plants. Literally, I am not one to fussy cut, so this is just going to be super quick and simple. It is not my thing. It is not my forte. I can never really get my corners like super nice. And I also can never get like the margin the same around like the whole edge of it, which is kind of like the main thing for making it look really nice and professional. I think that this will be a nice touch, and it's just the tiniest little flower, so I can handle that. So now we have our little flower that we just fussy cut it out, and I'll add a little bit of glue just at the very edge of this border here. I'll show you. So just there on the edge. And I actually may have even put a little much, but no worries, it will be just fine. So I was thinking taking the edge of the flower, and then that edge that we just glued down, I'll put it just about here, right? And we only put glue on this top edge, so I'm not anywhere close to like gluing the envelope down yet. And that's why I like to do it that way, so I have plenty of room and I don't accidentally glue my envelope closed. Now I can confidently say I am all done with this card. I think it came out so cute. I absolutely love the patterns that I chose. I love the little image I found for the happy. I love the way that I was able to bring the pattern paper in not only the inside, but also on the envelope. So I think it came out super cute, and I know she is going to absolutely love it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.